I'm going to say right now that I think the American public is being duped in more ways than one. And not only that, I think they're aware of it and I think they don't care. I think at the end of the day, they just don't care. You know, you might think I'm only talking about the presidential elections, but get this, I never talk about this because I don't care, but I guess there was some NFL news that was kind of big. I don't know the details. All I know is that something stupid happened where like the wrong team won, and everyone was saying like a bad call, complete BS, and the game's rigged now. So we can say that the game's rigged, right? And everyone can be mad and upset but what do they do besides continue to sit on the couch and continue to watch the game? They know that they know that it sucks. They don't care. They don't want it to be better. Because every year, what do you see other than NFL ratings through the roof? Every time there's a new Super Bowl, every year, what do they say? But besides, 10 million more people watched the Super Bowl this year. Literally everyone in America was watching this stupid waste of a time of a game. And do you think it's gotten better? Now, from a football standpoint, I can't tell you either way because I don't know. Not paying attention to that. When I watch the Super Bowl, I play a game called How Many Beers Do I Need to Drink Until I'm Having Fun? And generally that is in the range of about 7 to 8. Maybe more, depending, But look, I mean, every year, I can say this much. I don't think the halftime shows have gotten any better, have they? It gets worse and worse every year. And now apparently the game itself, not even fair. And yet ratings are through the roof. Now, why do I bring this up? Because it reminds me very much of the presidential elections. A lot, actually. They've been going on for a year now. The media's played out this drama of the political elections, and everyone's just eating it up. They know it's bullshit, and it's being spoon-fed to them, and they don't seem to be terribly concerned about that. There's one person, his name's Gary Johnson. He's trying to change the game. Now listen to this, because you have to have balls to do something like this. Gary Johnson sues to get into the presidential debates. Wow. Now, listen, I think this is awesome. I do. And even if it doesn't work, just the balls on somebody to do something like that, he gets a positive check in my book. He does. Not many people sue the government, and it works. Generally, suing something where the defending party is basically in charge of your life doesn't usually end up in your favor. Generally, there's an amount of collusion, and that's really what this is all about, that Gary Johnson is saying. It's collusion. He's making the connection between that and the Sherman Antitrust Act. Listen to this, because the collusion limits competition, and it's caused injury to him and the American public. Hey, I say that's a pretty good case. I guess it was intended for, business monopolies, but clearly, government's not too concerned about that because we've got lobbyists that make sure that it's okay. As long as the right people are paying the politicians, law's not that much of a big deal to follow. As long as everyone's making enough money, everyone can turn a blind eye at some point. So that's why I'm a little bit worried whether, this is actually going to work as far as legally goes. But even if it doesn't, maybe this is interesting enough for people to talk about and at least give him that publicity. So even if he can't get into the debates, he can start to garner that support that Ron Paul had. He can start tapping into that support. So at least, he can be a viable write-in candidate, even if he can't get on the ballot. Let me read a little bit from this story. He says, this is from his campaign spokesman. Somebody has to stand up and call this what it is. It's a rigged system designed entirely to protect and perpetuate the two-party duopoly. Sounds about right to me. Now, and listen, this is how the government kind of reacts to any kind of third-party situation. They say, this is what they're saying. The commission has declared that the debates are limited to candidates who are constitutionally eligible to hold the presidency, have achieved ballot access in enough states to win the theoretical electoral college majority in the general election and have support of at least 15% of the national electorate as determined by 5 polling organizations selected by the commission. Now, I did a teeny little bit of research here, and I found out that it wasn't always 15%. It used to be 5%. It was changed to 15% after 1992 when Ross Perot was running a third party, and they didn't want him to be a part of the debates. They thought having more than 2 people speak, that might confuse the American public a little bit too much. Well, isn't that interesting? You know, we saw recently how the RNC is pretty good at changing the laws, changing their own rules to make sure that Ron Paul can be a part of the conversation. You know, every time they're like, oh, a 5 plurality? No, you gotta have 8. Oh, you have 8? Okay, we gotta make it 10. Oh, you have 10? Okay, great, we're gonna have to make it 12. So clearly, every time that the third party candidate makes enough of an impact, all we have to do as the powers is raise the bar to the point that just beyond what they can reach. That sounds very, very interesting, doesn't it? And it sounds like, you know, he should have a good case. If anything, I understand, you know, you can't go to a court and look, I have a ton of evidence that this is bullshit. You know, I get that the laws are kind of on your side because, well, look, you're the guys who make the laws. Isn't that interesting? But here's my question, though. Here's my question. Do you think the American public is going to pick up on this story, or do you think they don't care? I think they should care. You think they would want to care because we've been hearing from Romney and Obama for a year. And I don't know how other people aren't as sick of hearing their goddamn voices as I am. Do we really need to hear any more from Romney and Obama? We know what they're going to say. We know everything. They've said everything that they've needed to in the past year, and they still need more debates. Oh, now Obama and Romney's in the same room, and they're going to hash it out. It'll be awesome TV. MSNBC is going to make so much money. This is such a load of shit. It's such a load of shit. Are you going to watch the debates? Because if it's just going to be Romney and Obama, I'm not interested. I'm not even going to watch the recap because what's the point? I already know what they're going to say. So why would I waste my time? I already know they're not going to win me over. You know, and they're not going to say something where like, oh, I didn't look at it that way, Romney. Now you've got my support. Now, here's another reason why Gary Johnson is starting to win me over. I'm starting to really like this guy. He has a lot of really interesting campaign methods that Ron Paul didn't necessarily have. Now, he had the support, you know, and he was a very smart guy. Now, I don't know much about Gary Johnson's politics, but as far as the quotable stuff that he's been doing and some of his campaigning is ingenious. I guess recently he came out with an ad saying that the political zombie apocalypse is coming, and he's the only one who can save you from the zombies from the left and the right. It's ingenious. Not only is The Walking Dead coming back in a couple weeks, so I'm already in zombie mode full on. You know, I'm done wiping up from my nerdgasm, and all of a sudden Gary Johnson's looking pretty good to me. After that, this is what he says. And this is amazing that he would say this. He says to supporters, waste your vote on me. That's what he says. I love this guy. I love him already. I don't know much about him. You know, you say something like that and it's like, wow. That's the kind of guy you want to vote for, right? Waste your vote on me because, you know, throughout all of the conservative talk radio that we've been forced to listen to for the past year, where all of the political pundits who are nothing more than like sports announcers who talk about delegates. You know, it's nothing more intricate than that. And they're telling us how, you know, well, if the libertarian vote decides to go for Ron Paul, then they're going to be splitting the Republican vote, and clearly Obama's going to win. And that might sound all good and all with your, you know, strategic whatever. As far as I'm concerned, if you're a strategist, you are the worst type of person to be involved in this because clearly right and wrong means nothing to you. Picking voting for the guy that you decide you like and is going to make the best impact on the country, not of a concern to you. It's all, how can my team win? What kind of dirty game can we play so my guy wins? The guy that I don't even really like that much, but geez, he's better than the other one. That's the kind of party that you wanna associate with, because everyone's doing it. Everyone's picking sides. Every week, there's more and more people on my Facebook page deciding, I'm going to like the Romney page. I'm going to like the Obama page. You know, then that's how they get involved, and maybe they'll vote, maybe they won't. And they're buying up all the crap. They really are. So why can't we have a third opinion? It's been a year. We've gone through all of the terrible, awful candidates. We've heard everything they need to say. How about a new guy who says, waste your vote on me? And I love it because I was telling people a couple weeks ago, you know, listen, Republicans, and I need you to listen to this. This is important, okay? Because I need you to know that you cannot split something that didn't belong to you in the first place. You never owned the libertarian vote. It doesn't belong to you. Therefore, you can't split it. Therefore, if you want my vote, then you got to do it the old-fashioned way. You need to impress me. You don't own it. You don't tell me you need to support me because we're better than the other people. I'm not going to be a part of this abusive relationship where you tell me what to do and say it's going to be better, and then you're going to fuck me over. You know, I've been saying for years, the only difference between the Republicans and the Democrats is that the Democrats are honest about the fact that they're going to raise taxes. I will always give them credit for that. The one thing that they do right is they're honest about all the dumb stuff that they're going to do. The Republicans, they're going to do the same stuff. They're just not going to tell you about it when they're campaigning. I mean, you want to look at history. George Bush increased the size of government more than any other president. You know, I mean, Obama's up there too, but look, they're both doing it. The only difference is that Obama's saying we need these programs, and Bush wasn't honest about it, but he did it anyways. So you can either vote for a liar or an asshole. Which do you want? You want to keep with the two-party system? Is that really what you want? So yeah, go on and keep talking about this because I'm turning it out. From this point on, I'll follow the Gary Johnson campaign because I find it very interesting. But beyond that, I'm not playing with this whole Romney Obama thing. I don't want to hear any more sound bites. I've heard them all. There's no scandal that's going to be like, oh, that's the thing that turns me off. I like whatever this whole Romney thing said at a dinner about 49% of something. I don't care. I've heard it and I turn my brain off while I hear it because I don't care. I already don't like him. I'm not going to change my mind now. Don't waste my time. Let's talk about other stuff that's going on that's way more infuriating and stop putting these clowns on TV.